and gentlemen, Akwaba. You are watching the Eve's Eye Show. My name is Evelyn Kumson, and today I'm in the heart of Koforidua, most known as Cove Town. And in the heart, we discovered a beautiful university located in the Eastern region. Without further ado, today I have a special guest. He's been an honorable figure for many people. And today, as I speak and discover what brought this all together and what made All Nations University come alive, without further ado, help me welcome Reverend Dr. Samuel Donkor. Akwaba. How are you doing, Pastor Donkor?
I'm doing well.
Wow, still looking young and always youthful.
Thank you.
Yes, it's an honor to be here with you at All Nations University. And I believe this school has a lot of history and Canadian influence. So tell me, what was the beginning story of this great university?
Thank you. Basically, as a young man, I went to Canada in 1981. And at that time, you would not get any positive news about Africa in the mainstream media. And it had such an impact on me. How come Africa is lagging behind? How come we can't develop? And I started thinking about it and looking for ways to make a contribution, to make an impact, to help Africa move forward. And initially, my mind was on other things, other than education, especially higher education. But then it dawned forcefully on me that it is the engine of economic growth.
Wow. So the engine of economic growth drove you to creating a university. What was the vision like? Did it come as a voice, or did it come through, what made you say, okay, let me propel this, let me make this first step?
Yes, basically, like as I said, it was a deep conviction. And then I started researching, and I noticed that developed countries have quite a number of universities empowering their economy. And at that time, Ghana had just KNUST, Legon, and Cape Coast for the teeming millions of people. And across Africa, the story was just the same. And but to be honest, I was apprehensive because I said to myself, I know that in Ghana in particular, and in most African countries, university is the domain of government. And so there wasn't any private university. However, I gathered the courage to come. This was like in 1988, thereabout. And I met with the late PNDC Secretary of Education, Honorable Harry Sawyer, with his assistant, his senior advisor, rather, the late Dr. Awuku. And they said to me, young man, what can we do for you? I said, I live in Canada. I've spoken to a few people in the diaspora. And if the government would permit, we will want a license to start probably the first private university in Ghana, and I believe it will help Africa to move forward.
Wow, beautiful. The beautiful part of this all, everyone knows Koforidua as a very beautiful place to be, especially the excursion places like Boti Falls and other monuments that keep this place, you know, flowery and trees and everything. So what made you come to the hearts of Koforidua?
Initially, the plan was to be sandwiched between Legon and KNUST in order to draw support from these two legendary universities. And But then I wanted it to be in the biggest town along this corridor. And obviously, Koforidua was the choice.
So this brings me to the part where it says all nations. I can walk into All Nations University. I'll see people from Nigeria, Kenya, many places within Africa, and also people coming from Canada. I even remember some students from Canada. I'm from Canada as well. And I know many people who are watching probably will say, I want to move to Ghana because that's the new trend. I want to move to Ghana. I want to come to university. I want to explore. What is bringing everyone together to this beautiful university?
I believe that All Nations stands for quality. We believe in a first-class education. We also believe that the experiences we have gathered over the years from developed countries and then the international community that we have established with teachers from many parts of the world, it lends itself to a very positive environment for students as well as for faculty. And this is why we've been able to make so much of an impact in our graduates.
Wow. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to take a glimpse at this beautiful university. And when we come back, we're going to ask more questions on how you can get admission to All Nations University. Stay tuned on the Eve's Eye Show.
Also to ensure better opportunities for the millennial generation and beyond. Qualified faculty. All Nations University continues to offer students a high-quality education that prepares them to engage the world in a life of service globally. To our graduates, as you live here today, please never underestimate the impact you have on our continuing students. You really do make a difference. You are their inspiration. You demonstrate what is possible after earning a degree from this institution. As we send you out with God's blessings and good wishes, note that the finish line of your studies here at All Nations University College is the beginning of the next leg in the journey of life. Today, you are being awarded a bachelor's degree, but without continued effort to improve yourselves, you will be left behind.
So as you saw, this university has a beautiful environment for education, building leaders. And All Nations is known for building leaders. And we have great things that go on in this school, especially the business school that I am going to dive in with Pastor to get into details on what started the business school. So it's all about business and the science class. I'm very impressed that we have seen such growth. Tell me, what was the first positioning of creating these courses for these beautiful people?
Thank you. Initially, when we started, my focus was on empowering young people to be entrepreneurs. So the first program that we applied for with respect to accreditation had to do with entrepreneurship. And the vision was to get the students, attach them to the businesses, the local businesses, so that over the years as they study, they could help them with their books, set up the accounting, because as you know, traditionally a lot of people do business without taking into account how to manage their finances. And the end result, we've seen it over and over again, is that it can completely collapse simply because some don't even, in those days, but when we started, some did not even have bank accounts. You go to the market and they just trade, and the ladies will tie their monies around their waists and stuff like that. And they may be doing this for 10, 20, 30 years or all their life, and yet probably may not even have a bank account. So the idea was to create an institution that will work directly with local businesses to help them and set up their books, monitor all their activities in order to see growth.
I believe this all is a great influence for future leaders to have control over their finances and be educated about it. Now, my question is, for those future students who are here or are willing to be a part of All Nations University, what's one thing they can be inspired by to be driven that when they come to All Nations, everything they have for the future can be done here?
Yes, this university has been a pioneer in innovative ventures. Like as I said, when nobody was thinking about setting up a private university in Ghana, All Nations spearheaded it. And apart from that, we've done a number of things, building a satellite for the...
1 second. Satellite for the country. Yes. This is All Nations University. We're going to take it to the moon. Yes.
And indeed, about 5 other African countries have approached us, and we're in the process of building a constellation of satellites for these countries. Had it not been COVID that slowed us down, by now, probably we would have been in the last stages of building the satellites and launching it.
That shivers. And once you have a satellite, it means control. Yes. Wow, this is powerful. And I believe one thing everyone should know, there is a backing behind all the universities, the university within here. Now, my question is, can we foresee a new future for a university outside of Koforidua?
Absolutely. Right now, we are working on our Accra campus. And of course, after that, we'll move to other cities and outside of Ghana as well.
Also, Pastor, a little bit of history from All Nations Canada into all this beautiful facility and how prayers are structured in this beautiful university.
Yes. I believe that without God, you can do very little. Jesus himself said, without me, you can do nothing. And so when you allow him to motivate you, lead you, and guide you, then obviously all things are possible for those who believe. So from that concept and rallying people overseas, they all bought into the vision, and we came together to establish this university, and many continue to support it in many ways, either by praying constantly for the university or putting in their resources. So that is the history. Yes.
Thank you so much for letting us be in your honorable facility and granting us this interview. We believe through this interview, many people will see a direction within Africa. And one thing I would want to hear, and I know that people would love to hear, is a motivational speech from the doctor's office himself.
Wonderful. I'm excited to be part of this growing vision. We are planning, probably we will launch it either this year, I believe this year. We are planning to have a tie-up with a university in the United States whereby you can do a 3+1 or a 3+2. In other words, you come to All Nations University and you do the first 3 years of study here, and then you go to the United States to a prestigious university there. You do 1 year and you get your bachelor's, or you do 2 years and you get your master's. And we will soon ratify this and announce it within the next few weeks. And so this is exciting. That will cause a lot of young people in Ghana and across Africa to have this type of education whereby you start here and you end up in the United States, if that's your desire, so you can acquire even more skills in order to come back to help build Africa.
And this is 20 years strong.
Absolutely.
Yes. All right. So, Pastor, before, we always have to let a little ease come into our interviews. Here's my question. What's your favorite Ghanaian dish?
It's over the years.
Wow. So what's one that you see yourself consistently craving?
Right now, can I even say or no? Because in the past, you see, you could go to the kitchen. I'm talking about a local one, not the artificial one because right now, with the way we are building, even the kitchen is artificial. I'm talking about the one you use firewood and all that to really cook up a storm. Those days, boy, the food tasted differently from what we are eating from these artificial kitchens. All right, so basically this is my favorite dish. I don't really know now because it has changed, and now it's like you don't even have control of your life. You can't eat what you like. They give you what they want, but what do you do to survive?
Okay, so what was your favorite dish back then?
Oh, it used to be cocoa and beans.
Me too. I'm a red fan. Nice.
But these days, they tell you what to eat.
When to eat.
And when to eat. And somebody is counting the calories and all of this. So food is no longer fun.
Oh, okay. Is there any beautiful shout out? Because I know your honorable wife, Mama Rose, and everyone out there, your children and everyone that we can give a shout out to today.
Oh. Hi, honey. I'm so excited that you are part of this, because no one person can do this without a faithful, strong, committed loyal support. And that is you, Rose, and then the children who have all shared in this by contributing in their own small way, allowing their father to be gone most of the times. We thank you. We appreciate you, David, Paul, Sam Jr., and Hadassah. May God bless you.
Amen. Because Pastor has to run, I was going to ask him what's the key to a relationship, but I think that will be a next time. Pastor?
Absolutely.
Yes, next time. And we'll ask him how to, be able to be in a loving home so that we could also be in loving homes too. Yes. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Kindly follow All Nations University on all social medias. And for admission and everything, I'm going to leave a link in the bio so that you can follow up and also apply, because September is around the corner and it's 20 years. So don't miss out on applying and being a part of the admissions for this year. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. This is Eve's Eye. My name is Evelyn Kumson. Have a blessed day.